Thom Hartmann here on the best of the rest of science and green news. You need to know this. Most of us know how bad income inequality has become in the United States, but pollution inequality is even worse. According to a new study by James K. Boyce of the University of Massachusetts, quote, air quality is distributed even more unequally than income, end quote. Mr. Boyce collaborated with other scientists to compare the levels of industrial air pollution between poor and non-poor communities and between whites and people of color. After discovering huge disparities among different states and congressional districts, they determined that inequality is literally in the very air we breathe in America. Corporate polluters have packed most of their facilities into low-income and high-minority communities because they get much less political pushback. And when you're poor and you're a person of color, it's much more difficult to move to an area where you can avoid the dirty air. High housing prices and historical discrimination in mortgage markets, aka redlining, have kept many out of less polluted areas. In an interview with Alternate, Mr. Boyce said, quote, if you believe, as I think most Americans believe, that every kid deserves an equal chance, then the impacts of disproportionate pollution burdens on the children in some communities, the fact that the playing field is tilted against them through no fault of their own, is a troubling feature of our environmental landscape. Although wealthy communities may have the money to push back politically, the people of these polluted communities still have power when they stand together. Regardless of our bank accounts or skin color, we must join forces and tell the corporate polluters to clean up their acts and get the heck out of our neighborhoods. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the bottom of our oceans. However, satellites may soon change that. About 90% of our ocean seafloor has never been mapped, but researchers have discovered a new way to see the features hidden deep underwater. Satellites way out in space use high-resolution radar to bounce signals off the surface of the ocean. As those signals pass over several times a day, scientists can adjust the data for waves and tides and build a picture of what's below the surface. The new technique has already allowed oceanographers to identify previously hidden features of the seafloor, including extinct volcanoes more than 1,000 meters tall. Researchers even found the exact location of the now extinct seafloor spreading ridge that eventually became the Gulf of Mexico. This new mapping ability is made possible by newer and more advanced satellites, and scientists will be able to see even greater detail as newer satellites are sent into orbit around our planet. Considering we know more about objects on Mars than we do about those in our deepest oceans, it's only fitting that we're going to space to learn more about the deepest parts of the seafloor. Most young people love to eat fast food, but one teenager is trying to teach kids why they should not be eating it. 15-year-old Koa Halburn started the nonprofit group Fast Food Free after doing an experiment to find out what effect preservatives really had on fast food. He made his own organic French fries and compared them with fries from a well-known fast food chain. After leaving both fries out for just a few days, the organic fries were wilted and covered in mold. As the fast food chain fries did not change over those days, he left them on a plate to see how long they would last. After 3 years, the preservative-laced fries still looked nearly perfect. Koa explained, that experience taught me how processed food, fast food is. Not even mold will grow there. So he started his group to teach people what it is that they're really eating and to encourage kids to skip the preservatives. His goals for the program are to fight cancer, heart disease, and childhood obesity. Koa is making a difference one teenager at a time, and he's showing all of us the importance of healthy eating. We've known that our oceans are warming, but it turns out we didn't know how fast they're heating up. According to a new report published by the journal Nature Climate Change, scientists made a massive miscalculation in their previous estimates. The new report says that since 1970, the top 2,300 feet of the ocean has been warming 24 to 55% faster than scientists previously believed. The error occurred because of poor sampling of the southern hemisphere and limitations of the analysis methods. As our oceans hold the vast majority of excess heat caused by global warming, this new estimate has a huge impact on how we calculate sea level rise and increasing temperatures. Warmer oceans means warmer temperatures, and it means faster melting of ice sheets. We already know that a hotter planet means more droughts, more superstorms, and more human suffering. With this new estimate, we should see that we have to fight even harder to save our planet. One of the best ways we can help is by putting a price on carbon. Go to greenworldrising.org to learn more. And finally, humans aren't the only multilingual species. Scientists have discovered that orcas can actually talk to dolphins. While many animal species learn how to communicate with one another innately, only a few species, like us, can imitate sounds from other animals and use them in the correct social context. Turns out that killer whales can learn to match the vocal patterns of bottlenose dolphins and to communicate to the other species. In fact, orcas are so skilled at picking up new languages, they've even learned to imitate chirps that human trainers use to instruct dolphins in captivity. This new research shows how intelligent orcas really are and how much we still don't know about these beautiful creatures. This is just another reason why we should never support keeping orcas, dolphins, and other animals in captivity for entertainment. Humans often think that we're the only species that can think and feel and communicate with complex messages, but this new science shows that we are mistaken. And that's the way it is for the week of October 13th, 2014. I'm Thom Hartmann on Science and Green News.